Lessening the likelihood of infiltration is regulated under the Food Safety Modernization Act, or FSMA, Produce Safety Rule. Washing produce is not a required action under the FSMA Produce Safety Rule. Individual growers should determine if washing produce is beneficial for them, considering the benefits, risks, and downsides to doing so. Infiltration is the movement of water passing into fresh produce during immersion, such as in a dump tank during post-harvest handling. Infiltration can cause produce to be contaminated on the inside, so you won't be able to see the contamination. Infiltration most commonly happens in cantaloupes, mangoes, apples, and tomatoes, but it can also occur in other commodities. There are three main risk factors to consider when reducing infiltration. 1. Temperature difference between wash water and produce. 2. Quality defects such as bruising and scarring. And 3. Submersion depth and longer contact time. Produce is susceptible to infiltration of wash water if warm produce is placed in water that is cooler than the produce. Water infiltrates through natural pores on the fruit surface and stem scars. Bruised or wounded fruit can have a higher risk of infiltration. Wounds act as additional entry points for water in anything that is in the water. The longer that produce is submerged in wash water, the more time water has to infiltrate through pores of the fruit. Produce that is submerged deeper increases the pressure upon the fruit, forcing more water inside. Preventative measures and best practices. Check the temperature of the produce and wash water before cooling the produce. The difference between the produce temperature and the wash water temperature should not be more than 10 degrees Fahrenheit. If the temperature of your produce is more than 10 degrees Fahrenheit over your water temperature, growers may use the batch cooling method. It is a process where produce is dumped into different containers with wash water held at different temperatures, so the temperature difference between the produce and the wash water is not more than 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Ensure water used for washing produce complies with agricultural water standards. Harvesting produce in the early morning when produce is cooler. Let the produce sit so that the pores and stem scar seal over before washing, or cool the produce in the shade or in a cooler while wash water is warming up. A hydro cooler can be used to provide quick and efficient cooling, but may not be realistic for many growers. Alternatively, for high-risk crops such as cantaloupe, tomatoes, and apples, forced air cooling can be used first to bring the temperature of the crop down to within 10 degrees of the water temperature. Bruised or wounded produce should be dealt with based on standard operating procedures in each facility. Stem scars can be sealed if fruit is allowed to rest and heal before washing. Some growers may cull flawed produce or send them through further processing. Produce should be submerged shallowly and no longer than necessary to reduce the chance of infiltration. Spray washing is another alternate method that can be employed to lower the risk of infiltration via submersion for many fresh produce commodities. Through infiltration, washed produce can take in contaminated water from the outside and make the inside of produce unsafe for consumption. Follow these best practices to lower the risk of contaminating produce.